So here we are, the Instrument of Truth class. I'm really happy that you joined and that you decided to be present here instead of all the temptations that you might meet, or things that you think that you have to do. I'm still letting some of the participants in, so welcome. And we're going to start off right away with relaxation, with becoming quiet, becoming still, coming in a listening mode. And so the Instrument of Truth, first 20 minutes is a bit of relaxation, meditation, a bit of teaching or introduction, whatever you want to call it. And the subject today is spiritual healing. So not in itself it is the say subject, but it's more like you found something that is related to spiritual healing that really touches you. So this is what you are going to share in the class, and I found something too, so I'd love to share that with you a little later. And so first starting with some relaxation, because this is all on the basis of opening up. It's not that we're doing something, it's more like allowing this to occur to us, allowing us to go into a different awareness than your daily, superficial consciousness that deals with the things of the world. And so that's where we enter into that. You don't have to do that much for it. It is more like there's some things that you really don't have to do, and so you don't have to be concerned about anything right now. So you take time to relax that, to relax your mind, to calm your mind, to put it down for a while. So put it on a shelf is what I said before. Is like you just put it on a shelf. So you'll pick it up if necessary, but otherwise you've stored it in the right place, and it's gone now. You don't need it. So these are concerns, for instance, about yourself, about your future, about your past, concerns about your relationships or your financial situation, or who knows what your concerns are. So all this we can store in this on this shelf and leave it there. It's going to be taken care of for you. So actually we're starting to come into a healing mode already, because we put away our concerns, hand it over to one who actually knows what to do with it. Because we think we know what to do with it, but that doesn't seem to be that efficient. Because things are coming back to us. It's like, well, I apparently didn't allow that healing to come to me, and I didn't completely give it away. I still wanted to keep it a little bit. That's why it's returning back to me. And then it's inevitable that you're going to meet it. But for now we put it on a shelf. Like the Holy Spirit has many shelves. It can store anything. And concerns is one of them. It's the top shelf, I think. So one other one is concerned about bodies, and concerned about your health and financial situation. So that's on shelf 2. We put that away too. So that's taken care of. So all these things that normally occupy your mind, normally in the sense of human thinking, the things that occupy your mind are keeping you just busy. That's all. It keeps you busy. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to resolve anything. It's keeping you busy. So if you want that to be resolved, this is the place to come to. This place of stillness and of silence and of recognition and of communication with God, with the universe, with everything that is suddenly possible. just because you emptied your mind a little bit, like put away these concerns, and maybe put feelings too, emotions, put them on the shelf too for a while, just for now during this session. They are allowed to come up, but you're not going to do anything with them. Same with your thoughts. Let them fly by as the clouds in the sky. Don't interact with them. Just leave them for what they are. They dissolve. They know their way, and in the meantime, you actually start to sink deeper into your stillness. So another part that's essential is like any kind of physical discomfort or uneasiness or tension, or who knows what happens with your body. We're going to take a moment to release that too, to breathe in slowly through our nose, deeply into our belly. And then sigh and release whatever you can. It's like, poof, okay, I'm here. I can be here now. I made it. So this is an essential part too. Just to come in, say, in a rhythm with your physicality. And also letting that become quiet. But at the same time, deep and open. See, and then suddenly it is like, you start to enjoy this. You feel the spaciousness in your mind. Like, oh yeah, this is really why I came here. I really didn't know at the beginning what would happen, but this is actually what I really like about it. To come into this still place where I can relax. I don't need to do anything else. I only have to be present here. And in class, I only have to be present, open my mouth, and words will flow out. That just goes by itself. If it doesn't come, that's fine too. Then it's quiet for a moment. But this is how that works. So it has such beautiful rhythm. So perfect. So you can trust this. So basically we're entering into a space or in part of your awareness where you can trust what is going on, where there's like a incredible sense of security. So let's breathe that in for a moment. The security with the capital S. It's like, oh yes, I can rely on the universe, on my communication with every aspect of creation. I can rely on that completely. I'm breathing that in now. So there's a frequency of trust that's coming in here. And then there's this calm wave running through you completely. It's like it's an up and down movement. The amplitude, the vertical amplitude. See, we're quieting down, really slow, nice, beautiful. So you might feel that opening up here too in your chest area, so to speak. In your heart center. So let's breathe some of that heart energy in too then. So a little higher, there's the throat, and there's the, and of course the spiritual eye, the third eye. So you can breathe to that too. So that you have an eye available that looks beyond appearances. It's amazing, isn't it? You can focus on that whenever you want. You can even put your finger here and breathe to it. So and then the next part is what is here, like your crown. And you can breathe through that actually. If it is open, you can breathe right through it. So why don't you do that right now? And maybe even pull your hairs a little bit there, like, yes. So we're relaxing now into that. So that's really beautiful. So thank you for doing that. And just continue in that. So listening with this, like with this class, you listen to it, but it's not really listening to the words at all. So you're opening up for a frequency. And so Joel Goldsmith, I'm going to use something from the Heart of Mysticism, which is already such a great title, The Heart of Mysticism. It's like the core of it. I love that, The Heart of Mysticism. It's huge, and I'm just using a little bit from it, in which Joel states, like, how can spiritual healing be successful is the question he asks, and he actually shares it with us. Like there are 3 points that he brings in as instruction for spiritual healing. And so it's always good to look at what is actually being offered. So this is not a theoretical course of in spiritual healing or anything today, like not at all. So this is totally related to your experience and what is being offered, and you can relate to that. And so it might open a door that you think like, oh wow, I love this overview. Seeing that these aspects are essential in receiving or coming into the field, say, of spiritual healing, where that naturally occurs in me. So this is all related to you, your experience of yourself, and your experience in communication with everything that is, and you receiving that for yourself. So this is where this is where Joel teaches from too. But so I will use 3 of the points that he's making in what a student or what a practitioner should know regarding spiritual healing. So I'll put on my glasses just to... he begins like this. So nowhere, this is from chapter 3, March, the practice of spiritual healing, from the Heart of Mysticism, March 1958. Nowhere in the New Testament does the Master indicate that there is a mental cause for physical disease. Nowhere does he say to anyone, you are ill because of this and that or the other thing. Nowhere does he say that you are being held in bondage too. So this is great. So he summarizes it in one sentence. It is difficult to attain this higher state of consciousness in which life is spiritually lived until one has been through the preliminary step of understanding that the mind is the substance of the physical body, and that mind imbued with truth will result in a completely transformed body. So this is a fundamental, say, basic principle. Mind over matter, like mind over matter, mind over body. The mind determines. The mind is basically the body is an idea in the mind. So that's why there basically is no direct reason for illness. It's not because of something. No, it has no cause. Sickness has no cause. There's no cause for it. So it appears to be an effect, but it's an appearance of an effect. It has no cause. So that's good to know. That's another step ahead. So that's really beautiful. So these are the basics, like I said. But it's good to repeat them. Then the second part, the mind imbued with truth will result in a completely transformed body. Okay. So this is really the process that we're in the spiritual healing, in the spiritual transformation that we're in. This is a physical experience of a transformation of your mind. So that has, of course, an impact on your body continuously. It doesn't necessarily mean that your body is right away completely healed and whole. It doesn't mean that you will perceive that right away. But it does say, when you allow this light to enter into your body, if you allow your mind to be healed, if you allow this change to occur to you and opening up for it on a continuing basis, then you see that there are sudden changes in your body. And for sure you have experiences of that. For sure you have discovered that already. And it's continuous. It doesn't stop. It's a continuous process, So the more you realize truth in your awareness, the more you will see that. And so it is logical. Like the logical part is this. If you were created perfect, what can possibly be wrong, say not perfect, in you, in your experience of yourself? Like in God's eyes, so to speak, that would be impossible. If you have ideas about yourself, then you might see something else. Then you might see things that are not right. And I'm saying it very plainly right now. I'm aware of that. But it's actually, it's not different than that. So coming back to practicing the presence, practicing the holy instant, or practicing healing, allowing yourself to communicate with God, with coming into an experience of oneness for yourself, of light and love. This is where healing takes place, where your body starts to, say, vibrate in a different frequency. The increase of frequency. It's a real continuous increase of frequency. And the increase of frequency has actually an effect on your cellular composition, on your whole body. And including memories that might be stored in this body might come up for healing. So they might come up. They're literally like resonating out of your body, because your body is literally a memory package. So then the next thing is, you go through experiences and you think they are related to something in time, or you might think that they're related to some person or some event. But in fact, you're just moving through an episode of healing memories. And what do you need to do with that? You don't need to do anything with that. You just allow that to flow through you. And and stay with your practice of healing, of reading, of meditating, allowing truth to take place inside your awareness, then you see that sudden memories disappear and your body becomes lighter or younger or however more vibrant or more energetic, or who knows what your experience is. So we're talking about a physical transformation, a physical resurrection, if you want. So that is the practice. So then there's one, so actually I already said this. Relation of spiritual living to spiritual healing. Oh, wait a minute. The relation of spiritual living to spiritual healing. That was a title. Spiritual healing and spiritual living are inseparable. They go hand in hand. The source of healing is the consciousness of the individual who is at the moment acting as practitioner. The source of healing is the consciousness of the individual who is at the moment acting as practitioner. So you can say okay, this has to do with you. So in order, before you start thinking that the practitioner is someone else, no, this has to do with you. When you allow healing to occur to yourself, when you allow yourself to come into communication, opening up, just like we did in the beginning, opening up for something else to come to us, for a different light that comes to us, allowing that to occur, allowing that healing to occur, like releasing emotions, releasing memories, releasing ideas. All this can help to come to this beautiful remembrance, where you suddenly feel like, oh my God, I got nothing to lose. I'm completely sustained here. I can't believe it. I can't believe that I sometimes forget this. This is the place I'm talking about. Like this warm place inside yourself where you remember this naturally. I completely lost track of what to say now. So I'm bringing it back to what is said here. The source of healing is the consciousness of the individual who is at the moment acting as practitioner. Oh yeah. Let it be understood that if the effect is to be pure, the source must be kept free and pure. So that is interesting too. So I want to touch that too for a moment, because I see there's a lot of emphasis on the purity part of this. Like, how do you keep your mind pure? How do you do that? How do you purify it? So these are just questions that come up during the process. And Mary Baker, like in this book that I got, like Science and Health. So Mary Baker talks a lot about purity too, and purifying from desires, purifying from this and that. And Jill talks about that too, of course. So what is it with that purifying part? So interesting part for me in my own experience of this is this, and that is actually a relief when I have my own experience with it. That is this, and I love to share that with you, because I don't want you to come into a grip in yourself, like you want to hold on to yourself as being a pure person, trying to be pure, and all these self-controlling devices that you're going to apply to establish this. That's not going to be helpful to you. So in fact, you can say to purify is in fact to allow a change to occur to your state of mind. And you know that. So when you allow yourself to relax in your meditation, when you allow yourself to relax in a meeting with someone, taking time to become still and in a listening modus, receptive and extending, just like we do now. If you allow that to occur, then in fact you're say have that part in your awareness that is pure. And that is miraculous too. It's like if you keep your mind open, if you allow things to change for you, if you allow your awareness to change and become receptive, that is the miracle in itself. That is what healing is. So and that is much more like an personal experience and personal activity than trying to live according to rules of you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, and you're not allowed to do no. All this, because that's all in fact nonsense. That's not going to help you out, because that is just self-controlling and has nothing to do with a discipline actually. So you can bring it in from the other side too by saying this. Like when you allow things to be healed, things to be changed for you, your perception to be changed, that is where healing occurs too. It's like you want to see it for what it is. And that doesn't mean that you have a new set of rules. No, you're just going to take a moment, a little bit longer, to perceive what is really there instead of your first impression or your first idea about it. This is a Holy Spirit holding you for just a moment. It's like, hey, wait just a moment. Just relax. Just wait a moment. You're ready to see something new. Why not apply Christ's vision to see instead of your own human limitation, to project your human limitation on this situation. See, and in fact, there's no exception to that. So every situation is useful. See, and now you see, like, purifying the mind is then a bit different. It is not a new set of rules that you're going to live by. No, it is just taking more time to literally to see what is there, instead of already knowing how things are and already knowing how things look and all that, or what your brother is, or what a disease is, or what a terrible financial situation is, or who knows what. Like, no, it has nothing to do with that. That's the first step of you on your spiritual healing path. So that's actually liberating, isn't it? So I know that a lot of people love to live by rules too. It's like, oh, you're not allowed to eat this and to drink that and to all these things. Like, no, that has nothing to do with it, really. Of course, there's a relationship somewhere, but it is not that we have to live by new rules. No, this is your desire to come to know yourself and to not separate yourself off. Also not in your spiritual world, in your spiritual living, not separating yourself off from any occurrence, basically. No, you want to see it all for what it is. And basically see the world dissolve in front of your eyes. And see the, image that you had of your brother. See that disappear. And feel the incredible love that your brother is. So this is the practice. And it's, you don't read that a lot in books, the way I share it like this. So I'm really happy to share this with you, because apparently it's time to share this. So I love that. So thank you so much for listening and joining into this and allowing me to teach this to you. And I hope to see you soon on YouTube and in class. We're just going to continue.